Today, let's talk about commercial real estate. Now, the main topic here is commercial real estate ready to crash, or is it crashing? Or how would you compare like 2008 residential crash? When was the last time commercial crashed? And where is that money is flowing out of commercial? And I'll give you in my final thoughts at the end. Welcome back to Shawn Realty podcast. So I was just reading about some of the articles. Basically, commercial buildings, specifically the office buildings, they're selling at like 40%, 45%, 85% loss compared to the last purchase price. So let's just dive into May 6, 2024. Commercial real estate foreclosures spike 117% as distress mounts. March of 2024, California 187, New York 61, Florida 60, Texas 55, New Jersey at 42, Pennsylvania 27, Georgia 21, Ohio 19, Connecticut 18, and Illinois 17. And that's quite a bit of, foreclosures. And if you see this graph, and this is 2014, which is pretty probably since 2008 market crash, the commercials got foreclosed in about 2014 because that's when the loans were due, I'm sure. And then it went down, and 2020, right at pandemic, it was lowest, and it's going back up. People who bought commercial buildings from like 2018, 19, 2020, they're going to be the one that's going to get hurt the most. And in Portland, Oregon, Montgomery Park, the third largest office building, goes to court out auction and sold for $37.7 million after the borrower defaulted about $150 million worth of debt. Last time it was sold at $255 million in 2019. That's when I mentioned that's 85% value lost. 85% value lost. And one other one. The Starwood Real Estate Income Trust, this commercial investment fund, they're like in trouble, but this article is under paywall. So I read it briefly, pretty much the same thing. 3 different examples of buildings selling at probably half of what they paid for. So it makes me wonder if it's just one individual, losing that kind of money, let's say $40 million, just, shake hands off and just move on with life. But if a bunch of investors put money into it, what happens to them? And I'm more concerned about the local banks. My understanding is that the local banks heavily invested in commercial real estate. And they're typically shorter due time, not like 30 years like the residential. They can be 7 years, they can be 10 years. And based on what I know, especially right in the middle of downtown, those big office buildings, the leasing space, the demand is just not there. Too much supply as far as I know. The owners of buildings, they have to pay back the loan. Then what do? You either have to sell at a loss or have to go foreclosures, right? The last time about 40% loss was actually 2008, 9, 10. Though that was residential. The homes were losing that kind of value at the time. And average was about 35%. One main key point that I wanted to bring in this video is that when this commercial real estate money is coming into residential. What I mean by that is some of these REIT, the investment group, the capital fund, if they are diversified in commercial and residential, they're bleeding money on the commercial, especially office building, but they're doing fine in the residential, right? They're now realizing residential commercial side is where they need to put the money into. That's why big companies like, Blackstone is one of the biggest ones in the world. They've been buying up residential quite a bit, like even a single family home, multiplexes, the apartments, you name it. That's why the residential market, the demand is so high. That's why some of the first-time home buyers cannot even buy because you can't compete against these big fund buyers. There's so much investors' money out there. I always want to advocate for individual home ownership rather than bunch of companies owning thousands of homes. I actually told one of my commercial building buyer to wait. That was about a year and a half ago. Two different markets of the office building. One like in downtown and then one in suburban. Now in suburban office market is, I would think that it's going to do a little bit better as long as there's a demand for it. And it's a mid-size, it's fine, but if it's huge, it requires like downtown, pre-pandemic, bunch of people going to downtown. If that's not coming back, I don't see how commercial market in downtown office buildings can come back. I just don't see it. People aren't going back. First of all, the cities have to be safer, so that people will feel like they feel safe to go out to downtown. And at the same time, companies have to come back to downtown. But last like 2-3 years, most of the companies are leaving downtown, which is a problem because of their employees' safety issue. Until the office space supply goes down or demand goes up, I don't see this office building real estate coming back. And I think it's going to crash even more until this supply and demand balances out. It's almost like silent market crash because many of the commercial real estate people that I interact on Twitter, now the X, the ones that are doing well are the ones that are buying the multi-family buildings and selling multi-family buildings or industrial warehouse. They're doing great, it seems. But when it comes to office buildings, this is where people don't want to talk about it because there's a big losses there. But that's what's happening in 2024, in my opinion. Final thoughts is that I actually brought it up about a few minutes back. More monies are coming into residential, and that's where money is coming in. That's why residential is doing great. And they're talking about the rent keep going up, prices keep going up, even at the high interest rate. When the mortgage interest goes up, that doesn't affect the cash buyers. If the capital fund group is cash buyers, more likely they gather people's money. They don't care what the interest rate is. It only hurts the small people, just regular home buyers hurt the most. Don't blame the realtors or real estate agents here because it's monetary policy that's hurting people. That was my thought. Commercial money coming into residential real estate is raising the demand for the residential, getting more competitive, while the commercial real estate is slowly crashing. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I thank you for your support, and I'll see you next time.